Hello everyone, welcome to our today's video. So, in our discussion of risk planning, our next topic is risk identification or identifying risks. Now, this step is actually a very important step in risk management as well as in project management. Reason being, we should be able to identify as many risks as practically possible. Doesn't matter how big or small these risk events could be, but the more important point is to have as much coverage as possible. So, the first thing I will add or I will say about this is that don't try to do this just by yourself. In fact, the more number of people you involve in risk identification, the broader will be your coverage, the better will be your risk identification. Now, obviously, we can use a lot of data gathering techniques, which we discussed in one of our previous videos, the requirements management, requirements identification. But along with that, there are some additional techniques that you can use, like assumption analysis. See, every assumption you make during the planning, it's a risk in itself. Now, if you think about an assumption, let's say, for example, that we will get all the resources on time. Maybe, maybe not. If you don't get the resources on time, then that's basically a risk waiting to happen. Or you may have made an assumption that there won't be any approval delays. There could be some approval delays. So, every assumption you make at the time of planning, you should correspondingly create an entry in the risk register, which we will see in a minute. Then, of course, you can also do SWOT analysis. So, SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So you can perform a SWOT analysis for an individual, like you can do your own SWOT, you can do your team SWOT, you can do a SWOT for your project, for your department, for your organization. I mean, literally, you can do it at any level. The main idea behind doing this SWOT analysis is to understand what are the strengths, 1, 2, 3, 4, what are the weaknesses, 1, 2, 3, 4, opportunities, and correspondingly threats. So at the end of this analysis, whatever opportunities and threats we are able to find out, they are nothing but risks as per our definition. Then you can also rely on those prompt lists, pestle or VUCA. Pestle, you will remember from previous videos, it stands for political, economical, technical, this should be S, social, technical, legal, and environmental. And VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So these are referred to as prompt lists. They are like prompts and they help the teams involved in brainstorming to go and discuss risks associated with each prompt that we have here. So, yes, there could be these techniques in addition to the previously discussed data gathering techniques that we can use for risk identification. However, a more important point of discussion here is the risk description. One of the major pain points that in my personal experience I see is teams do not describe risks properly. I have seen teams mentioning a risk as project may get delayed. If you have also done this, it's all right. We all can make mistakes, and that's what we are here for, to learn and improve. But this is not really a risk. This, for me, it qualifies as an impact, not a risk. Remember, risk is that uncertain event which we have to describe. This is not an uncertain event, this is an impact we are talking about. So, as a recommendation, you should always try to make your risk descriptions more informative, more clearer, and more self explanatory. How to do that? Try to describe your risks as a three-part statement. What is the trigger, the event, and the impact? When you follow this structure, you will see that risk descriptions becomes so much better. Say for example, the same thing, but now I'm going to describe it as that due to festival season, workers may go on extended leaves, leading to delays. Now, this description is so much better. With this type of description, we understand that what is a trigger, what is the event, what is the impact, and this will help you when you are doing your risk response planning. Because in order to come up with a risk response, we need to analyze where we can do what. Like sometimes the trigger is beyond your control. You can't do anything about the trigger. Then maybe we can do something about the event. Sometimes we cannot do anything about the event also. Then we will try to minimize the impact by some way. So generally we want to start at the leftmost side, that can we do something about the trigger? If yes, let's take control of that. If not, let's think about the event. If we can do something about it, well and good. If not, let's try to move to the last section, which is the impact. So with this type of description, you'll be able to do your risk management on the whole as a very in a very effective and efficient manner. So likewise, we can just keep on adding more and more risks. Say for example, due to bad weather, material deliveries may be late, which again leads to delay. Or due to inflation, resource cost may increase, leading to overruns, and so on and so forth. So all of this information basically goes and gets documented in what we call as risk register. So this risk register would again be dependent on organization to organization, like what will be the columns or what will be the format. But for the time being, we will at least want a simple kind of identification and the description, like R1, and then due to festival season, labor may go on extended leaves, leading to delays. So that's your first risk. Risk 2, in the similar way, due to bad weather, there could be delivery delays, leading to project delays are 3, and likewise you can just keep on adding risks in the risk register. So that's it for this topic of risk identification. I hope we were able to understand this topic. If any confusions, as always, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. I'll be happy to respond over there. And in our next video, we'll be doing the third step, which is performing the risk analysis. Till then, take care, bye, and we'll see you next time.